Oh,
I got her.
there
Yeah.
she is. And which cat is
I mean,
this?
this is Susie.
Susie. Okay. I didn't want to get the name wrong.
She's a Panthers fan for what it's worth. So,
Oh, really? How did she decide that?
well, you just got to go with the big cats, and the Bengals really weren't good enough this year for her. So,
Does that mean that we have to be like Buccaneers or Raiders or, fans that have like human mascots? I don't think so. She can
no, I don't.
she can branch out.
Clearly not clear, but but the thing is she doesn't want to. So we have to respect her choices
Okay.
in life, even if they're maybe
do.
not always the best.
We do.
Like
We
being
do.
a Chargers fan, but whatever. So
Who would ever do that? Especially
I
like
don't know,
voluntarily,
man.
where they're not even from Southern California. Who in
I
their right
know
mind would decide that?
it's just wrong. It's better than, I guess, being a Bills fan and being all disappointed. But it
Yeah.
Red Sox fans have longed to hear it. The Boston Red Sox are world champions. Wycheck. Dyson's gonna go all the way. The 3-2 for the winner.
Playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs. You kidding me?
That's caught by Des Bryant.
Hello and welcome back to Derek Likes Sports, the official podcast. I am Derek, I like sports, and I am so glad that you are here listening to this episode right now. Folks, today I have an amazing guest. Her name is Irene Turner. She is an acclaimed screenwriter, author, just an amazing creative force, but most importantly, she is a Los Angeles sports fan. She has been a Rams fan for pretty much the entire time there have been Rams, at least this iteration of the Los Angeles Rams. She is a season ticket holder at SoFi Stadium for the Rams, not for the Chargers, which, I mean, I get it. The Rams have won a Super Bowl, so I guess they're better, but whatever. But she's really just a great hang. We had so much fun. She's hilarious. I really hope you enjoy our conversation as much as I did. I hope she enjoyed it as much as I did. If you have not already subscribed to the show, please do that wherever you're listening to it right now. Subscribe on YouTube. Just download new podcast apps and subscribe to the show. That's everybody's homework for today. Just find a new podcast app and subscribe to this show. You don't have to listen to it on there. You don't even have to keep the app on your phone. Just subscribe and delete the app. I don't know if that'll work, but let's try it. Leave a comment, do all that stuff. It certainly helps the show and gets more people to find it. That's hopefully the goal so that we can keep having fun, right, folks? We're having fun here, right? Anyway, later in the episode, I think Irene and I may have earned an Oscar nomination, and I'm not even kidding. I think our work is brilliant is the word I would use. I would use the word brilliant. So I can't wait for you to listen to our hilarious conversation and see our brilliant decisions later in the episode that will garner us an Oscar nomination, at least. Maybe the Derek Likes Sports Oscars, at least. So anyway, enjoy the show. Oh, I should close out all my tabs of Jimmy Garoppolo pictures so it doesn't bog down my computer.
why would
All
you
those,
ever close those
incognito
down?
tabs I had open.
When I open those up, my computer just starts heating up. So you don't want to blow the RAM or anything by too much.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't want to overwork the computer. I don't want it getting too thirsty while we're recording. So, are you recovering from the Rams' tough run out?
I am recovering. I mean, look, when you spent 20 years without a team, sometimes you just have to go, hey, they just didn't have it this year. Actually, they had a much better year than I thought they were going to have. I thought they were going to make a wild card and lose in the wild card, and they ended up being great and giving me hopes of a Super Bowl. And I don't know, how do you ask more? It would have been our third Super Bowl since the McVay era, and
would have been the third time against the Patriots too.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, really, for me too, because remember the St. Louis Rams are some other entity that I don't actually pay. I literally, I'm not even kidding. I did not pay attention. They moved away, and I'm like, done. They moved back. I'm like, oh, my team, I love you. I've loved you forever. So.
That's funny. I was going to ask you about that. I was going to ask, what that era was like for you. And it sounds like you just kind of dismissed it.
I
Were you
look
still a football
like if you
fan?
want.
Were you still following?
Oh, I absolutely followed the NFL. I would pick a team. I was in college for 1 year at the same time as John Elway at Stanford, and so as long as Elway was in the league, I could kind of vaguely get behind the Broncos. Uh, I would just pick random, like, oh, Pete Carroll, used to coach USC, so maybe them. Or I have a problem with rooting for underdogs, which means that I'm terminally disappointed in things when I do that. So, but I would just sit. It was very weird to sit down and like not like actively not have a team, and I would root hard against the Raiders because of the whole
Sure.
legacy of the Davis family and the Davis era. And Al Davis has a remarkable record, and then he managed to screw over Oakland and Los Angeles, um, in multiple times. So like that, if
Yeah.
hate fuels you, I recommend being an anti-Raiders fan because you'll go far. So.
I'm sure if we dug in, there are plenty more cities that he screwed over too. Like that's just the ones we know about. We could
Oh yeah,
probably,
and
there's probably a whole
we could go
list.
back in. I'm probably forgetting all those early, the early AFL days, and
Yeah.
so that era was
Yeah.
very much
Yeah.
that was negative space for me.
Have you always lived in LA? Have you always been in Los Angeles?
I was born in Hawthorne, California, which is LA County, where the Beach Boys were born, for what it's worth, and that's pretty much all it's known for. But
Oh,
yeah, I grew up in LA and Orange County, and weirdly, I moved to Orange County slightly before the Rams did. People forget that not only were the Rams gone from Southern California for 20 years, but they were gone from Los Angeles for a number of years as well. And so that's part of the reason why there are so many other fan bases, and besides that people move in from all over town. But yeah, I grew up, there are pictures of my brother, with a little like toy Rams felt football from like 1971 or something hanging around out there.
oh man. I always enjoy talking to you because you'll just like drop like a fact about your life. That's so funny. Like the other day you mentioned that you were at Super Bowl 19. And I was just like, what?
I am, and now I can finally remember this. I am 1 year younger than the Super Bowl. So
Oh,
now I can always remember what number Super Bowl it is this particular year and forget all the other ones. Yeah, it was at Stanford Stadium. And I tell you, Stanford Stadium then was miserable. It was bench seats. It was, tight and horrible and had not been remodeled and was super awful. And uh, as you might imagine, in a San Francisco 49ers Miami Dolphins Super Bowl, I was rooting for the Dolphins because I was, born and raised hating the 49ers. And oh my God, that era, the 80s, really being a Rams fan with the 49ers up north and Joe Montana and Steve Young. And I mean, of course, I like Jerry Rice, but now and not then. So, uh, yeah, so going and then just watching the 49ers destroy the Dolphins and everybody saying, "Oh, well, Dan Marino, he's got so many chances, it'll be fine."
it's a little like
Oops.
Drake May just had. Second year, had a great almost MVP year, and we assume he'll be back, but you never know.
Yeah,
You
we
never
we
know.
assumed Josh Allen would have 3 by now. And yet
Right.
they got to have the
Surely he
pieces,
would
you
have
got to
been to
have the
one.
Yeah, exactly. You have to have
Yeah.
the pieces, you have to avoid injuries, and you have to
Yeah.
you get lucky. There's a certain amount of luck involved. Hello, Seahawks. But you have to have your team in position to take advantage of that luck, and then it's all difficult. That's why like it's so satisfying when we finally get there.
Right. Yeah. It's extremely difficult, and 31 fan bases end with, I guess, failure. But it's hard to
Yeah, you
be
can't.
so binary about it.
You really can't look at it that way. And I was really
Yeah.
happy, for example, for Panthers fans this year because the bulk of them seem to recognize that, like, hey, think of where we were a year ago and think of where we are now. And it's like, it was more about, all right, good year. Next year we'll get them. They're not beaten down and it just
Yeah.
trashing the team. And I mean, I can sit
Right. I'm
around
sure
and
Susie
trash.
was very happy.
Oh, Susie was thrilled. And
Yeah.
then she wanted treats, and then her mind was on to the next season. So,
And they had that was an extremely fun game against the Rams in the wild card. Like,
yeah,
they probably should have won that game, honestly. Like, they really played well. So,
yeah. I mean, the
yeah,
Rams, they've
it's
got
a nice note to end
an
on.
exceptionally young defense, and sometimes that's going to bite you a little bit. And and cheap. They're like the second lowest paid defense in the league, which is thrilling to me. I'm like,
Right.
wait, we can stop things sometimes. Yes. So
And now they
I'm
have
happy.
two first-round picks to play with, and maybe get a little even better on defense. So,
It's really interesting. We're going to have to see next year whether they go for like the help us now picks, or if I think the original plan was, oh, well, what if Stafford leaves? We have to get the quarterback. And I think if they'd have known how far they were going to go, they might actually have kept that first round pick, because I don't think they thought that they were going to be within a few plays of the Super Bowl. So
yeah.
it's interesting. So hopefully they can take those two picks and either package for the quarterback of the future, or just get some help in places that we could use it.
Sure. Yeah, especially now that the entire NFL is being filled with Sean McVay's disciples. So you're kind of the copycat league is starting to copy your team so much that it becomes more
I know.
difficult.
He got old. He turned 40. Obviously, we need to fire McVay. I'm kidding.
I know.
I'm kidding. But you just
he's over the hill. He's still like the fifth youngest head coach. Like, it's insane.
It is crazy. And I think this year it might be, he might be sixth now, after there were so many coaching changes. But
right.
But yeah, the McVay tree is crazy. I mean, the good news, it's partly, he grew up in football with so many of these guys and kind of has a sense of who he can work with and stuff. But also, when you're a really good team, your coordinators are going off to head coaching jobs, or people are getting promoted. And the Rams really have a culture of are known for trying to get people that next level. And so what happens is that makes it easier to get people to come to you, and it also makes it easier for them to leave. So
sure. Yeah, it's great that they were able to hold on to Shula for another year, because they're like buds too. So
yeah, who knew that I would be rooting for a Shula? But I mean, the grandson of Don. But yeah, but for example, I mean, the Rams, you may or may not know this, but Aubrey Pleasant, who's the assistant head coach, the last two exhibition seasons, Sean McVay has let him be head coach and call all the plays, and and make the game plan and have a whole prep week to help him in his quest to get a head coaching job. So McVay is really open to doing that, and I hope I hope it helps, and I feel like it does bring in the people who are ambitious and and want to to take a step up. So
yeah, I can't imagine a more attractive job opportunity than going to work with the Rams, because it's a limitless upward mobility working under Sean McVay, it seems.
And hey, at least your practice field is not next to a conspiracy theory inducing power station. So
yeah, it's not gonna. Yeah, you don't have radiation pouring into your tendons, just weakening them until they explode. It's definitely not that Kyle Shanahan overworks his players in practice. Definitely not that.
No, it's totally not that. And I mean, on a human level, I hope he learns to not doing that. On a Rams fan level, grind away, go old school, Shanahan. Keep the water away from him. They used to do in the 50s and 60s to make them tough. The Bear Bryant years, in college football.
Bring two-a-days back. Let's
Yeah, exactly.
yeah. During the
3
season,
days. I mean, don't you
full
want to work?
pads.
You know.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. But yeah, you're not just a football fan. You were, in fact, you were at a Lakers game this week, right?
I was at a Lakers game, you know, sadly without Luca, and they were close. The friend I was with was joking with, I just can't wait till the third quarter collapse. And you know what? It wasn't until the fourth quarter that they collapsed, and then they
All
brought it
right.
back almost close enough, and then they lost. But it's as I get older, and you know, as you know, I'm not married to a sports fan, so I love like going and watching live basketball, but I don't watch it on TV as much as I could anymore. And so it's just it doesn't hurt me when they lose in the same way that when I'm sitting at watching my team. I mean, the Lakers are my team, and it's a joy to just go watch, you know, pros loving what they do and be, you know, working their butts off and just being fantastic at something that I could never do. But it doesn't, you know, it's like, oh, they lost to the Thunder. Oh no, they might
Yeah.
not win their 18th championship this year. Oops.
They lost to
So
the defending and future NBA champions.
yeah,
The
and future
Thunder.
after that, and then yeah.
Yeah.
So, but it was just, you know, it was fun seeing some of the young guys and just and like, you know, it's probably only, you know, maybe 6 or 7 more years that I have to see LeBron James dunk. So, you know, just drive that lane and come in. So, you know, I mean, I think he's only got maybe 6 or 7 years left in the
Yeah.
league. So,
Yes, he's definitely
Mhm.
approaching his final era, I think. He's
His
not into
Brady,
it yet though. We'll see.
yeah,
Yeah.
he's approaching
That's
his
right.
Brady era, is what I'm saying. So.
That's right. Yeah, this is like the first year he's like missed significant time with injury. It's unbelievable, his longevity and effectiveness at the age that he is.
I am 100% convinced that the reason the Lakers won in 2020 is the shortened season and the lack of travel due to the pandemic, and like that was like made
Sure.
conditions
Yeah.
perfect for an older player who needs time off, you know, that where the travel and the wear and tear is
Right.
significant, and the back-to-backs and the long season. It was just like it was like the NBA said, you know, let's give the Lakers another one. We'll shorten it. We'll put them here. They don't have to go anywhere. They just hang out. They
Yeah.
can watch each other's games. Perfect. So
That's my COVID conspiracy, is that it was just created to get the Lakers a championship.
yeah, exactly. So
I'm just asking questions.
it's the way it goes. And you know, in
Yeah.
my heart of hearts, I mean, at my age, of course, I'm a Showtime Lakers. I'm Magic and Kareem and uh, you know, and Michael Cooper and Worthy and just all of that. So that's like
Yeah.
that's my golden era of the Lakers.
Yeah.
And I have so that's where
You
I
got a couple
have,
to
you know,
choose
like
from. You got a couple golden eras to choose from there.
yes, I
Just
do. Lakers fans are super obnoxious. We admit it. We know it. And uh, that's we just that's all right. We just have to go with
yeah.
it. So
You've only had like what, 6 of the top 10 players of all time on your roster at various given times.
yeah, I mean the Lakers won a championship one year and had the first round, the number 1 pick the next year. So
That was the worthy
back in the
pick, right?
day. Yes, exactly.
The NBA, what you said, where it's hard to like care that much that they lost a game. Like the regular season is just a nothing for the NBA right now.
It is, and you know, and it's not. It's the thing about football is there's, you know, with only 17 games, like every game has this feels so just like insanely important and like, you know,
Mhm.
punditry, like the like the a month before the end of the season, it's like the Rams are clearly going to win every single game for the rest of the year, and I'm like, no, they're not. Come on, back up. But it breeds this kind of like you have to make your big pronouncements every week, and you have to just like, and the NBA, it's like, okay, yeah, I'll check you in June. But this was fun, and those, that was a nice no look pass. So, but they lost. So, and Luka wasn't there, and the Thunder
Yeah.
weren't at full strength. Whatevs. So.
Yeah. I watched the Thunder Spurs game a couple weeks ago, and I think the top 7 people in the Thunder rotation were inactive, not playing. They only had 8 people active for the game, and they almost beat the
That's
Spurs,
crazy.
which was crazy. The motivation to not shorten the season is just clearly they want to have more games where they're making money for the games like that. And that's a difficult motivation to beat, I think, when you're looking
Yeah.
at a league.
Yeah. By the way,
Even if
nice
it's better
hat.
for
I
player
forgot to
health
say
and
something.
all of that.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks. It's a St. Louis Rams hat. I didn't know if that would be.
I know, but they did the first
acceptable.
year, but it kind of reminds me of Jeff Fisher, but that's okay because you could,
Ugh,
we have left the
should've-
Fisher year.
I should have worn. I have a Titans Eddie George jersey. I should have worn that, and I could have gone full Jeff Fisher. It'd be the 8-8, 7-9 podcast.
Sorry to all Titans fans. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it should have been this. Yeah, the 8 and 9 podcast, or actually in his, the 7 and 9. But
when the 500 season still existed.
yeah, exactly. Oh my God, the mediocre. I mean, the good news was the Rams were just back in town, and I was like, "Ooh, football! 30-yard Jared Goff pass for a touchdown. There's a penalty. It's called back. Yay, football!" So you. I mean, I wanted him gone, but you couldn't make me mad about it. So
Yeah, did they played their first couple seasons in the Coliseum, right?
they did. They actually
When they
played
came
it.
back?
They played an extra season in the Coliseum because SoFi wasn't ready. And then 2020 was supposed to be the inaugural year of SoFi. So the first season in SoFi, there were no spectators. In my infinite
man.
wisdom, when the pandemic first started, uh, people were saying, "Oh, we'll be out of this in a month or two," and I was like, "Oh, come on, you guys! That's totally unrealistic." But 6 months, that'll be fine. We'll be done with this. And I bought tickets which were later refunded to the Patriots coming into town, some extra tickets near our season tickets, so I could invite friends to see a game that was 6 months into the pandemic. So yeah, I was optimistic too.
Yeah. Yeah, and now they won the Super Bowl in their home stadium, which was cool. And now they can do that again next year, right? Is that the plan? Is that why they fell short this year? Was just to save it for next year?
My late brother and I were there at the Coliseum. I mean, it's not at the Coliseum, it's SoFi for the and it was pretty great. It was also pretty great because that championship, as you may recall, may have knocked another team in the north of California out of things, and so and was a home game, and so all of that was pretty great, and it's a core sports memory for me, so I have no cause for complaints about any of this.
That's awesome.
It was
That's awesome.
yeah, and even though I got to say the NFC Championship better than the Super Bowl in some ways, because you have a home crowd.
I was going to ask how different seeing a game that's the Super Bowl in your home stadium is compared to just a playoff game or a regular season game.
It's weird because it's very corporate. There are a lot of people there that are going because it's a social event. So you have a lot of people who are or they're fans of another team, or but they're like, "Oh, I got tickets from, I work for some big corporate, or I'm a vendor for this or this," or so they're all there and they're kind of sitting on their hands a little bit, and they're excited when there's a big play, but they're not rooting for anyone. There's no sense that that they're there to care about the outcome. They're just caring about good plays.
Yeah.
And so what you get is this weird dynamic, whereas I'm like trading football thoughts with my brother. Nobody around us was saying anything football related. They weren't like talking in the same way that as a season ticket holder, when you're around all your people, you're hearing people talk about things. You can sense the momentum, and even SoFi is notorious for having a lot of visiting fans who are uh,
Sure.
come in and drink their way through games, but even so, like that back and forth of the whole fandom aspect of it, a Super Bowl, you miss that. You really do. You miss that kind of feeling
Yeah.
like uh that there's, and yes, of course, the Rams had more fans than the Bengals in that game because of the situation, but it wasn't the same. I mean, I'm not complaining. It was
Yeah.
great,
It's just different.
but
Yeah.
it's different. So
Yeah. What you're describing is kind of the environment for every home Washington Commanders game, though. it's it's just corporate boxes, and Commanders fans sound off in the chat and tell me that I'm wrong, and I'm not, but it's fine.
yeah.
I think it'll be better when they move back into the city. I think it's just a better environment. And that stadium is not great, and it's extremely difficult to get to, and it's just not great.
Where are they playing these days?
Landover,
They're not
Maryland, so it's in
okay.
Prince
I was
George's
gonna say they're
County.
not still at RFK, are they? I've lost track, but
No, they did recently demolish and are going to rebuild. The plan is to build a stadium on the old grounds of RFK,
oh,
which
that's right.
we'll
Yeah. I
see
forgot about the
who gets
whole
to put their name on it.
Trump. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. They're so yeah, it'll be great to go see a game at DJT Stadium. I think that's the plan there.
RFK Jr., you have to prove you
There we
haven't been
go.
vaccinated to go see a game. So,
Yeah. They only
the
serve meat and ferments in the stadium.
exactly when he wants to spread more measles outbreaks, he could just, they can just
Right.
give away tickets. So
It's measles night at the stadium.
yeah, at RFK-J. So
yeah. So we'll see. Yeah, you have to drive by the Trump Kennedy Center to get there, and then drive by the Trump Washington Monument and the Trump Lincoln Memorial. But it'll be a better place for a game, probably. So that's good. That's good, at least. So then you're also and this baseball season is upon us, and I believe you're a big Angels fan, and it has been a rough 20
years
4
plus.
years.
Yeah. Uh, yes.
Yeah.
One of my most bitter moments at SoFi was the Dodgers had just signed Shohei Ohtani that year, and he came to a game, and they put
Oh
him
no.
up on the infinity screen, and the stadium went wild. And all I could think of was, oh yeah, that player that you could have driven like less than an hour to see and you never did, and I know because I saw those attendance records. Like, wow, oh my gosh, you signed a player with your massive amounts of money that he just come to town, and I was like, really though? Really, really, really.
Yeah,
Come on,
that
you guys. Anyway, I was a little bitter about that, but
I think you deserve to be. Yeah, you went from Los Angeles of Anaheim to Los Angeles, and everyone was acting like it was a new thing.
and
It
I'm
is
also bitter
crazy that they
because
had two
yeah,
generational talents for several years. Like, not just
yes,
generational. I mean, it's basically like having
yeah.
Ruth and Gary for like 6 years.
Literally like Hall of Fame top, like
Yeah,
players of the century, players of all-time great
absolutely.
players, and they couldn't do it. And I'm also a little bitter because of course the Angels uh many years have had a very high payroll and been able to do it, even in the Gene Autry years way back when they'd before wild cards existed and stuff, they'd win the West and then just get slaughtered and bam out, and he'd
Yeah,
pour money into them and they still couldn't do it. But I did get my 1 year, and I that was good. That
the
was
rally
good. So
monkey.
I've been the rally. Yes, the
Yeah,
crazy rally monkey, uh the Darren Baker being picked up at home plate,
yeah.
the crazy comeback. Game 6, I was there. I was in I was in Anaheim Stadium with
Wow, that's
my friend
awesome.
Kristen, whose mom was like, she was, mom was the biggest Angels fan ever, and Kristen is as well now. Far bigger than I am, even way, way bigger. And so, yeah, so seeing the, like, just being miserable and then saying, could they actually come back? I'm like, nah.
You got to see Barry Bonds get intentionally walked 3 or 4 times. That's
Yeah,
always
I
exciting.
know, it's
'Cause
amazing
it's the only way to
intentional
deal with
walks.
him.
I know. I mean, honestly, I am of the opinion that the pitcher should have to throw the ball if you're going to intentional walk. None of this, oh, just, go to
I
first base
agree with
stuff.
that. Yeah, that. What are we doing? Why? Yeah, I totally agree. Are we? Is the next thing we're not going to make the runners run when they hit a home run, like it's slow pitch
Ex-
softball? Is that the next? Like, come
exactly.
on.
Like make if pitcher's going to, have to throw outside and stuff, make them have to come back in and throw a strike to the next batter. So
Yeah, especially if the runners on
do
base,
it.
they could throw it wild. Runners could advance. Like there's stuff that can happen.
Exactly. Exactly. So
So
just
yeah,
like do it.
yeah, a lot
Um
of the changes baseball has made, I will admit, I was skeptical of, and they've been very good. That one, I agree. I think we are right about that. Maybe they can get Trout to a playoff series this year. That would that'd be great. Because what's he been in the playoffs one time? Has he played 3
I
playoff games?
think
It's something
yeah.
an unbelievably small number.
I mean, we're
But
like Ernie Banksing it or something. I mean, it's just very bad,
yeah,
like in terms of great player to being on a team that's never going anywhere. And please,
yeah.
Artie Moreno, please sell the team. Thank you. Thank you.
I feel like
Just
that's
do
the
it. Do it for me.
I feel like that's the opinion of so many sports fans is like, insert owner here, please sell the team. that's for years. That's what it is. It was the Angeloses with and Baltimore. Everyone just wanted them to sell the team. It's just that is the one thing a lot
Obviously,
of fans can agree on.
this the Spanos family can go away too, as far as I'm concerned. So, and I mean, Georgia Frontieri was the worst because, of course, she inherited the team, knew nothing about football, and just wanted. It was just a social standing thing, and it was.
Yeah.
So yeah, I remember I was working in opera behind the scenes at that time, and she went to our opening night gala thing for the big donors, of which I got to go because I was working it, uh, but she's showing up with this like sequined jersey with Jim Everett's number on it, and I think it was, I don't remember who. It's been a bit, in like blue and gold sequins, and I'm like, oh, that was before they left, of course, and it was like, just sell the
Right.
team, sell the team. So,
Well, now the Seahawks
so
just won the Super Bowl and they're up for sale. So maybe we can put together pull all of our money together and buy the Seahawks. I think
yeah,
that
but
would
here's the thing: is at this point now I figure out who would be the worst owner for them to buy the Seahawks that would try and coast on their laurels, not put money into the team, and have them not be competitive for a few more years. So that'd be nice. I'd like to
is it gonna be
stop
like
this
Bill
at once,
Gates?
please, Derek. I think Bill Gates has a
Bezos?
lot going. Yeah,
Yeah, he does.
Bezos could.
He does.
I mean, if Bezos
Could
can
be
ruin the
Bezos.
Washington Post so quickly, I think he can do
Right.
wonders with dismantling
Yeah,
the
he's like
Seahawks dynasty.
Seahawks are no longer doing football. We're no longer doing football for the Seattle Seahawks. That is gone. We're not doing offense anymore.
100%.
It's like cutting out one
Yeah,
whole
exactly.
entire section. And well,
Trainers who need trainers, let them stretch themselves.
Yeah. Doesn't Balmer's a Seattle guy originally, isn't he? Or maybe not.
Yeah, I think. I mean,
know he
I
was
think
there
he
with.
has to. I think he has to be, uh, but yeah, I mean, I have not been to the Intuit Dome to see the Clippers play, but I hear
Yeah.
it's people who've gone who's it's just all the whole cashless, have to use their app, buggy stuff. It's all been miserable.
Oh, really?
I do have to. Yeah, I do. I like seeing new stadiums, so and arenas, so I probably go at some point. But
Yeah.
uh,
I do
don't.
appreciate how passionate he is about it all. Like
Yeah,
it's like clear that he cares a lot, which maybe is getting him in a lot of trouble right now. But he clearly cares about it, which is I think what you want in an owner, and he just happens to be like the 14th richest person on earth or whatever. So it's just...
Look, having grown up in the era of Donald Sterling owning the
Oh my
Clippers
God.
for 100 million years, who that's got to be the biggest change in ownership
Yeah.
from like hideous, horrible slumlord, racist
Yeah.
human being to to like anything. It's
Yeah.
it's hard.
And he got them to their only ever conference finals appearance. I mean, I say he got them there, but I guess, I mean,
Yeah.
he brought in the guys, so I think he deserves that
I mean,
credit.
Donald Sterling was famous for having a draft lottery party every year.
Right.
Every year. Want to know why? Because they were always in the draft lottery. So
yeah. Michael Olowokandi is going to turn us around.
Famously, one of my core sports experiences was I was temping. I had just moved to Los Angeles. It's like 1990, fall of 1992. The Clippers are terrible. It's raining. It's a home game, and they're playing the Golden State Warriors. And this is when the Warriors had it. Nobody remembers how bad the Warriors were for years and forever and ever. They were as bad or worse than the Clippers. But I was temping at CBS, and one of the execs had season tickets, which he used mostly for schmooze, and nobody wanted to go to this game. He could not give these tickets away. But then he asked me, and it's like 3:00, and in the afternoon, I'm like, okay. And I called my brother who came up from Orange County, and we met, and I like. It was terrible basketball, but it was kind of hilarious because it was raining cats and dogs, and I got to sit in back of Howie Long, and I got to see his neck was closer to his playing days, and his neck is like this thick, so you kind of had to do this to. But they were great seats, so I just remember I was like, yes, I can be the person who sees Clippers Warriors in the rain.
This is a perfect example. This is a perfect example of what a conversation is like with you. You just like Howie Long as a side note in the story about going to a Clippers Warriors game in 1992. That's a great example. Was Chris Mullin there? Did you at least get to see Chris Mullin play?
I don't remember. It's been a minute. So I feel like no, it was not good basketball. And the sport. Oh, and then also it's the sports arena. So this is pre-Staples Center. This is the sports arena.
Right.
And like even by this time, the Forum is on its kind of last legs as a good place to watch something, and the sports arena was always trash. We went back years later to see Springsteen from which was the final concert of the sports arena, and I went partly because I was like, it was the last thing they put in there before they bulldozed it to start and Springsteen's concert was called, he always called it the dump that jumps. So it was the dump that jumps. But anyway, yeah, the sports arena was just badly laid out and uncomfortable. So,
well, one thing we haven't mentioned is that you're in LA, you work in show business, working on, movies, audiobooks. You have a great audiobook that's out. And you're a huge football fan. So I came up with Lady Killer. Yes, I listened to the whole thing in like a day and a half. It was great. Fred Armisen has a voice in it. Blanking on the rest of the names, but it's a great cast. But I thought a fun thing we could do, speaking of casting, there's a football related movie coming out later this year. It's Madden. It stars John Madden. No, it doesn't. It does not star John Madden. It stars Nicolas Cage as John Madden, and it stars Christian Bale as Al Davis. How would you rate this casting? If you're giving it an A to F grade, how do you feel about this casting? And if you want to recuse yourself from giving a grade on this casting, I totally understand.
No, I mean, I think Bale is perfect. I don't know how you cast Madden, and I think look, Nicolas Cage has been a great actor. He has not done a lot of great acting recently. So I feel like the physicality of Madden is maybe a problem with Cage. But then again, maybe the movie doesn't get made if they don't have a name, playing Madden. But I think Bale as Davis is about as perfect as you're going to get, because he's going to method
Yeah.
actor himself into looking perfect for it. And he can
Yep.
play
He could
assholes
do
well.
anything.
So
Yeah, right. It comes
just win,
naturally.
baby. Just win, baby.
And then there have been there was this other movie, Home Team, about Sean Payton with Kevin James as Sean Payton. And
that's terrible
I don't
casting,
know.
and I love it, and I love it. I love it.
Yeah,
Because as you might remember, not the biggest fan of Sean Payton Bountygate, and I think he's a crybaby whiner. And so, and Kevin James, I'm pretty neutral about. So let's call it a D if that's where we're putting it. So
a D. Okay. All right.
yeah.
And then a couple episodes ago, Devesh and I were talking about Sean McDermott, and we were talking about who would play him in a movie. And I threw out Will Patton and Bill Burr. Evidently, Bill Burr has said that he thinks Sean McDermott looks like him. I think it depends on what tone of movie you're going with, though, who you would want.
I mean, given what's happened at the Bills recently, I mean, I think Burr is probably a better bet. Also, Bill Burr is not a terrible actor. He's actually
he's not.
You think of him as a stand-up guy with, who occasionally gets edgy about things, but he's actually a pretty decent actor, in my opinion.
He was in Breaking Bad, like one of the later seasons, and he was very good in that. And he was in The Mandalorian, I think. He is in an episode of that too.
Yeah, I forget where we saw him recently, but he sort of pops up, and he kind of here's my biggest compliment. I forget when he was in something because he kind of blends in with the rest of the cast, and I actually consider that a good thing most of the time, that I don't notice somebody who's famous for something else.
And he's such a big personality that's not easy to do, because he is
exactly.
You have a voice in your head when you think of Bill Burr of who he is.
100%.
So these were the real ones I wanted you to grade, though, because I then came up with 8 different. If we were to make a movie about these people, who would play them, and some of the ages might not match up, but I tried to keep it realistic. First one, someone close to your heart, Sean McVay. And if you have any thoughts, of if you don't like the one I did, or if you like the one I did and have other people in mind, feel free to throw those out. But the one I went with Sean McVay was Steve Zahn.
Yeah, see, at the right age, if we're magic casting and we can adjust the age. Unfortunately, he's a little but
he's like, because Sean McVay's a baby.
You've seen the Sean McVay Cash Patel mock
I have,
yeah. That was a little frightening, and I need to never look at those again. Those are cursed.
They have the same face shape, exactly.
But yeah, I'm okay with Steve Zahn. I'm okay with Steve Zahn. It'd have to be the comedy version, though.
Of course. And if we're doing it, depending on what era we're doing, I mean, we'd obviously have Jared Goff in it, obviously, because I think we would have to cover that era of the Rams.
Why do you have to hurt me like this?
We have to include the Jared Goff times, I think.
All right. I mean, Jared, look, I have nothing against Jared Goff, but I think the Rams won the trade, so there you go.
I think it's the best trade in NFL history. And it's not even that's the median take on that trade. It turned the Lions were able to be a respectable franchise again, and the Rams won their Super Bowl. It's perfect. Can't think of anything better. So he's always reminded me of Ryan Gosling. So I think if you're going kind of a more comedic, lighter tone, I think Gosling would be a good choice. How do you feel about Gosling as Goff?
I absolutely, and the thing is Ryan Gosling, you could get it made, whereas Steve Zahn is not going to sell the movie, but Ryan Gosling is of a certain caliber of fame that you could actually get the movie made.
Right, Steve Zahn, that's going to be like an A24. You got to hope to have someone see it at a festival or something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's the thing where somehow you get the money from a dentist, you make the festival film, and and you win the award, and nobody else ever sees it again. So
Right. And if we're going to go that way with the Jared Goff story, I think Giovanni Ribisi is the guy. Again, age doesn't really line up, but I think they look enough alike to at least we'll see. I don't know if Ribisi could physically be a football player, but
yeah, but Ribisi plays a lot of weasels.
He does.
He really does. And I think Gosling could play. Yeah.
So if Goff is the like villain in the McVay story, maybe if that's the twist that we're going with, maybe we put Giovanni in there. Yeah. So I got another one here. I got more. So we sent Jared Goff to Detroit. So now we got to cast Dan Campbell. And I was thinking Josh Brolin.
Josh Brolin touched me once. Do you know that?
I would like to know. I would like that. I would like you to expound upon that sentence.
It's much less interesting. I was at the Writers Guild Awards one year, and I was sitting at the table, and it was the year I got nominated. So this is mean. This is not a humble brag. This is an actual brag. For
absolutely
a movie. I got nominated for a movie that no one's seen, and
which movie?
An American Crime. Which was before streaming. So movies for television was a really tiny category. There were only 3 nominees, and we still lost.
Yeah.
And we lost. We were the first award while people were still seating, and we lost immediately. So it was a fun rest of the evening. But the whole Milk cast was there to support the Harvey Milk movie with Sean Penn and Josh Brolin. And they were of course in front of us because they were more important than we were. But while I was chatting with everybody at our table, which was also the Weeds writers, who also knew that they were not going to win, they were like, "Ooh, we're the 5th nominee that's replacing Ugly Betty this year." So we were having a lot of fun. But evidently, Josh Brolin passed by me and like put his hand on my knee or something as he was trying to wiggle into his seat, and everybody looked at me as soon as he'd passed and went, "Josh Brolin just touched you." And I'm like, "Why didn't you tell me? Then I would have felt it." I had no idea. So.
Oh, it's amazing. Well, I have a surprise for you because Josh Brolin is actually backstage and about to join the call, and we can talk about this whole experience. So, Josh, you can go ahead and come on camera.
Josh, you touched me. So yeah, so I'm totally in favor of Josh Brolin. That works for me.
I think he matches. I think he can match like his physicality and his like both of them have like a very distinctive like voice, like a deep like booming voice. I think it could work.
And
I think it could work.
And the thing is with McVay, you don't have to. He did famously won Georgia high school football player of the year over Megatron, but
right. Of course.
But people don't think of him like that. And so you don't really have to have the ex-athlete kind of thing. And that's where that's partly why Gosling is a better answer to Goff, is because you feel like Ryan Gosling would make the effort to at least look like an athlete. But Brolin has that former athlete, kind of big guy, a former athlete thing to him that I think would work. He's a good actor.
Gosling did play a football player when he was very young. He was in had a really small role in Remember the Titans.
Oh wow.
Which is yeah. It's not a huge role, but he's there. Fun little Ryan Gosling fact. All right, our next one. Roger Goodell, kind of the guy pulling the strings above everything. I don't know. I feel like you might have to think about this one. I don't know if this one like jumps off the page necessarily, but I was thinking like Bob Odenkirk, who can kind of do that kind of serious, in the boardroom kind of character, but also he has a lot of range, and I think somebody playing Goodell might need a decent amount of range.
I mean, I gotta say, having watched Better Call Saul, Patrick, oh my God, I'm blanking on his name. Who played Howard?
Patrick Fabian.
Thank you.
Is that right?
He's yes. I think Patrick Fabian is every Roger Goodell ever. Now again, this would have to be a TV movie.
That's pretty good.
He also, from my limited parasocial experience on on social media, seems like a nice guy. So who knows?
Odenkirk or Fabian?
Well, both of them, but I was speaking of Fabian. Everybody
Okay.
seems to love
All right.
Odenkirk.
All right.
I've never worked with him, so.
All right. Well, we have two options. Bob, leave a note in the comments if you're interested. You could also produce it if you want. It's up to you. It's up to you. You could do both. You could do both. All right. Next one we got. All right. This is kind of a buddy cop movie with Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow. Jamar Chase, I'm thinking Michael B. Jordan. He has a lot of experience playing an athletic football player, a boxer. On the other end here, he and Eli Manning are hanging out. That's what this is, because I think Michael B. Jordan's a big Giants fan. And then as Joe Burrow, all right, the physicality part here might be a stretch, but hey, Joe Burrow's not, he's not running around doing anything too crazy. It's got to be Macaulay Culkin. Let's get him back out there. Let's get him an Oscar bait movie. He deserves it.
Noted football fan. You know that, right?
He's a big Rams fan, right?
Macaulay Culkin, and he's almost as big a Rams fan as his wife, Brenda Song, who did the season introduction last year and has been who has far more football game than I have, but who is really seriously cares a lot about Rams. So they've gone to they've shown up at preseason practice, and she when they put him up on the big screen, she they label her as aspiring head coach. So
it's funny. She's a big Lakers fan too.
Yeah, she is like a wild sports fan. I'm impressed, and I'd love to see it. So
yeah. All right. Well, so far I feel like that best casting Oscar has my name already etched onto it.
Yeah.
For this sprawling movie.
Hopefully they spell it right.
Right. Of course. And if they don't, I mean, I'm not going to complain too much. I might just spell Oscar with like a K going forward, just out of spite. All right, Super Bowl champion Sam Darnold.
Why do you do this to me, Derek?
When I thought of this one, I couldn't. When I thought of this one, I could not do it. I was very excited about this one. Rupert Grint. Come on. Come on.
I have not seen him in anything as an adult.
Me neither.
I don't know what he's up to. I mean, as a once copperhead, now long since faded, I do have a fondness for the redhead, and Darnold went to USC, and he's had this great journey and stuff. But to heck with that. I do not want the Seahawks to win. They're a division rival. Don't care.
Oh, it's a beautiful story. And Rupert Grint.
It's not.
I think
a terrible
you'll do a great job.
It's a terrible story, and you're a mean man, Derek Thomas. How
what
dare
is this,
you?
fifth team, I think, winning a Super Bowl? Come on. Put your fandom to the side for a moment.
Why?
You're not going to like this one. You're not going to like this one any more than that one.
Are you putting Purdy? I knew you. Oh, God.
Fresh-faced Brock Purdy. And I was also very excited about this one because I think Tom Holland is like a crazy good athlete. He was like a dancer and everything. Like, I think he could knock it out.
100, but he's on the short side, so you'd have to cast a really short cast around him to make him look tall enough to play an NFL football player.
Yeah, we'll make it happen.
I mean, you could do Brock Purdy the high school years or something. The rise of Brock Purdy, or Brock Purdy,
like the draft, like the him being like the last pick and everything. Yeah. No, yeah. Brock Purdy, Spider-Man. Somehow he gets bit by a spider. I feel like they've done this already. But anyway, Tom Holland, Short King.
I do love Tom Holland. I just don't know it would be perfect for Purdy. But then who cares what's perfect for Purdy? I don't care. So cast away, miscast him. In fact.
All right, yeah, we'll get Kevin James to be Brock Purdy. That's the move. I think he can be all of these. We'll get Kevin James so much work being all these people. All right, the last one.
Mm.
Mr. Andy Reid. For Andy Reid, I'm thinking like a family movie, like rated G, if that still exists. I don't know if it does, or like straight to Disney kind of thing, where I think we could even make it like a thing where it's like talking animals.
Yeah. All right. Bring it on. Reveal. You're dying to.
Yeah. So I think Mo the exotic short hair from my son's cat book is the perfect Andy Reid. He has range. He can do smug. He can do barking out plays. What do you think?
Well, I think that's fine. I was going to say that I don't think America wants to see Andy Reid on their TV sets more, but that's not actually true because my father and stepmother were like, "Oh, we love the Chiefs. We want to see them. Poor Patrick. Oh, poor Andy Reid." And I'm like,
Really?
who are you people? And I think that's probably a sentiment outside of the circles that I run in. I think that's probably a popular sentiment. I think that's the reason they're always on TV, even when they're when they're chasing wins and it's and Kelsey is being they're like, "Oh, Travis Kelsey." I'm like, who are you? Am I genetic related to you? I mean, no, Dad, stop.
I think family movies perfect for this. We find like a frog to play Patrick Mahomes, some kind of animal to play Travis Kelsey. I just feel like that's what these people lend themselves. So, any favorites? Any least favorites from my casting choices here? How do you feel overall?
Well, obviously, just McVay. Put McVay on my screen, and but I'm really shocked that you didn't find casting for Kelly Stafford, but and the famous
Dang,
four
maybe
daughters
next
of
time.
Matt Stafford. Matt Stafford
man.
that she puts all over her social media. I try and stay away from that kind of parasocial Rams vantage. It just invades me that like it just shows up on Instagram. I try and follow a mix of players who are not necessarily the huge superstars because I just find it fun.
Yeah.
Plus, or people who are new, like Devontae Adams to the Rams or things. Just it's a little bit fun to see what they like and retweet of their teammates and things like that. It just makes. But I try and keep it on a fun level, not on a on this insane people that are just blasting players on their social media, directly at them and stuff. It's like, oh, come on, people, just
You used to have to like
just
get
chill.
in physical proximity of an athlete and actually yell at them with your voice, and you don't have to do that anymore. You can just do it from your couch. So.
Yeah, you could just feel that, and that you're making a difference.
Right.
No. Evidently the Detroit fans were over Kelly Stafford a long time ago, but I don't know.
Yeah,
but,
I remember some drama around that. So, anything else? Anything you want to plug? Anything that we didn't talk about that you want to?
No, just Lady Killer for lovers of period mysteries on Audible. And other than that, God only knows when I'll have another project happening. So I don't even want to talk about anything I'm working on now. So because I'm not getting paid for it. So
that's how it is, right? Even if you don't like period mystery dramas, that's not really a genre that I dive into very often. But I really enjoyed it. It's definitely a good story,
Derek.
good listen. Yeah, of course. So yeah, is there anywhere people can find you on the internet, or do you want people to find you on the internet?
I mean, I'm on Instagram under For Lease Cheap. If you like Google Irene Turner on Instagram, or search on Instagram, you'll find me probably easier than that because there's some underscores in there. I'm lazy. I ditched Twitter years ago because I couldn't handle the shitification. So
yeah,
bleep
you're ahead
that
of your
if you
time
need
with
to.
that.
But,
oh, nothing gets bleeped. Nothing gets bleeped.
I curse like a sailor, so I was trying to hold it back. So.
Oh, well, next time you'll just have to you'll like I told Josh when he was on, you can just speak fully and curse words if you like. That's totally fine.
Fuck.
Well, go say hi to Josh Brolin for me. And thanks for coming on. It's a lot of fun. And that is it for today's show. Thank you so much, Irene, for coming on. You were a great guest. We, for whatever reason, had some latency issues during our recording. So, like, there would be like a small gap sometimes between when I would speak and when she would speak. It would just, I guess, take that long for my voice to get across the continent is my guess. I think that's how that works. So thank you for being just a trooper with that. And that's why at the end, when you were like, fuck, I didn't even hear you. And it was hilarious. And I heard it when I was editing and laughed very hard. So thank you for dealing with that. Please check out her audiobook, Lady Killer. It's on Audible. It is fantastic. I listened to it. I like pretty much I started it and then didn't really want to stop listening to it and just blew right through it. After this podcast, you might be looking for something else to listen to. I would recommend that. And then once you're done with that, I'll probably have a new episode of this out. So you're going to want to be subscribed. That way you get a notification or whatever about that. Remember, we're downloading podcast apps, subscribing to the show, and deleting them. That is what we're doing this week. I don't think that's illegal. If it is, it shouldn't be. So yeah. Anyway, I hope you have a great rest of your day. And I will see you next time.